Welcome to this edition of the Erica Edwards Show here on Business Takeout. Today, I have a very special guest all the way from the good old US of A man I have been following on social media and have been very, very inspired by over the last few years, Mr. Mark Breedlove of Meet the Breedlove. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What an honor. I appreciate the kind words, but I'm just trying to do the best I can.
Well, that you are. So I met Mark through a now mutual friend of mine, D'Amico. Shout out to D'Amico's. And yes, we got a shout out to D'Amico's. He is a young man out there doing his best to do his best. And I found out that Mark was one of his mentors. So of course, when you admire someone, you got to go check out who they're following. And through this, I discovered Mr. Breedlove, and they have a YouTube channel called Meet the Breedloves. And on this channel is Mark, his spectacular wife, and he gives her all the credit because he knows she is. And how many kids, Mark?
We have 5 kids.
And five whole humans, 5 humans.
5 kids and 3 dogs. So we never.
5 kids and 3 dogs, he says. So on your channel now, Mark, you can speak for yourself. So tell us a little bit about what we will find out on your channel. What is your channel about?
Well, plain and simple, we're not really doing too much. We're not acting a fool. I'll say that, number one. We're really just being a family. And what I mean by that is we are doing normal things that most people would consider normal families doing. And one of our favorite pastimes is traveling. So we travel a lot and we record moments with our traveling and make videos of it and go from there. Okay,
so that is your YouTube channel. Now, you seem to have your hands in a couple of things, 1 or 2 things, aside from being a military man.
Okay.
And I know your wife is a nurse, correct?
She's a doctor.
She's a Dr. Breedlove. I'm so sorry, Marquitta. Dr. Breedlove.
No problem.
And then you guys also run, is it one business or more?
It's multiple businesses.
Multiple businesses. So tell us a bit about them.
Well, let me tell you about the first business. The first business is actually Meet the Breedloves.
Okay.
The channel itself is in an LLC. So whenever we travel as Meet the Breedloves. So what's happening is you see us having fun. You see us going to Disney World. You see us eating. You see us doing multiple things on my YouTube channel and my Vimeo channel, but it's actually a tax break.
Wow. Yes. Okay. Yes. So the first business is the business of having fun with your family and traveling. Is that what you just said?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. So he said that out loud and he's not afraid of the RS. So apparently, if you listen to this man, you could travel with your family of 7 humans. And write it off. So maybe Mark will teach us a bit about that. So that's business number 1, Mark. What is business number 2?
Business number 2 is actually our careers kind of come first because they kind of fund everything we do. I've been in the military for 24 years now. And my wife has been a doctor of physical therapy for over 10 years. So she has a great position at a nice, great rural hospital. And I've been in the military for 24 years. So that's our, I would say, even first business because we have to take care of that. Then there's Meet the Breedloves. Then I started a farm because we have 17 acres of land. So I decided to start farming.
Okay. Okay. And I mean, I know I saw some, what was it? Because you were going through an orchid. I remember there was is it pears? Was it pears that you had?
I have some pear trees. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But the main crop that I've purchased over the years has been lemon trees.
Okay.
Yes. And the reason why lemon trees is because lemons can be used for multiple purposes. And they're pretty easy to grow being in South Georgia. Everybody, when you say Georgia, everybody thinks Atlanta. That's a very, very, very tiny part of Georgia. But I live in the south part near Florida. And it's very hot down here. And the temperature is perfect for growing any type of fruit or vegetable.
Okay, so then you have the farm. Now, I see that what you do is in your stories, you regularly tempt me with purchases. What is that about?
I've actually been in retail, since 2008. Started selling clothes and shoes and went from there and added products as time went along, little doodads. I actually used to own clothing stores in Atlanta, Georgia, down on Mitchell Street and in Stone Mountain, Georgia. But of course, I realized one day that being in the store, that's where I met D'Amico's, actually, was the store downtown. But I actually realized that one day I sold more online than I did in the actual store. So I'm thinking to myself, why would I stay in the store if I'm selling more things on Amazon, eBay, or a website? So the shift, it happened, and it happened suddenly. And I had to get up out of the store due to the cost of overhead and just saving money and having more time for my family.
Okay, so you're up to 4 now. Are there any others you want to add?
No more. I guess the business of family, that kind of comes first also, and just making sure everybody is good with what they need and what they want, because if they're not happy, I'm not happy. And that's the whole structure of everything I do, being here at the house. The house comes first.
The house comes first. Well, I see that one of your favorite pastimes is joyfully complaining about your wife. And I love because it's so tongue-in-cheek, because the admiration and the love and the respect always shine through. You admit that you just don't understand some things and they frustrate you, and you're just gonna roll with it because everything else is just so good that I guess whatever takes her so long to get ready, will just be what it is.
You got to take the good with the bad. You got to learn to deal with it. I guess men and women are so different in so many ways. I don't take what she does differently from me as bad. I just take it as different, and I've learned to deal with it. This December, we will have been married 18 years. Woohoo! We got married very, very young, and things such as going to church, when we used to go every Sunday, or going out to dinner, or anything, just takes her a longer time to do. And me being military and being so prompt and strict, if we're going to be somewhere at 7, I'm trying to leave at 6:45. If she's trying to be somewhere at 7, it means let's leave at 7:05. So
and so you learn to roll with it.
You learn to roll with it.
You learn to roll. Well, one of the things on your platform, and interestingly enough, when you advertised this show and you put it up on your page, you had mentioned the late great Chadwick Boseman, and his earning power. And as I said, I started following Mark because of D'Amico's, but also to the message he was sending out. I'm very message driven, and we all talking, but what are you talking about? And one of the things I loved about Mark's platform, aside from the humor, was the message underlying everything, which was build family, build empires, build legacy, build a family. But what I love about this particular American man is that it wasn't all, money, 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 make money, 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 money. It was the joy of family. Yes. And the time spent and the kids at tennis and nurturing a good career, so you had time down the line and had funds to put into other things. So one of the things that you said was that the richest Black men are married. And then on the flip side, I keep seeing all these memes and posts about these men being taken to the bank for through their divorces, and how marriage is so expensive, and is it really worth it? And almost this trend that the younger generation would be better off on their own. Can you speak a bit to that, Mark?
Yes, I can. Well, first off, I don't have all the answers. So saying that most men are married that become millionaires, or men that are married, that's actually IRS data. So it's like factual. And the reason I believe most of the men that become millionaires are married is because men do one or two things with their money. They either spend it on their woman, or they spend it chasing women. So one way or the other, you're going to spend the money on a woman eventually. That's just what men do. If you're going to be with women, be with a certain woman, you're going to have to spend some money. And if you're looking for women, you're going to spend money outside your home. So by having that one person in the home, if she's sensible, now I'm not talking about just anybody, having a sensible person, fiance, wife, eventually, you are actually taking 2 paychecks or 2 businesses or 2 ideas and bringing it into one pot, I guess you could say. So let's just do an analysis here. Let's say I get paid on the 1st and 15th. My wife gets paid on the 7th and the 14th. That's 4 checks. That's more money for us as long as we're working together and not overspending what we have coming in. But it takes an agreement and it takes a partnership to understand that you can do more together than apart. There's an old African proverb that says, if you want to run fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with someone. And that's the same not only in business or in life, but it's definitely with your family or your spouse, whoever that may be. Having that extra person can also give you a good ear to know that they have your best interests. So all the decisions that are made, 99% of the time, me and my wife are able to make them internally because we know what's going on. And sometimes she has a cooler head than me. Most of the time she has a much more cooler head. They say cooler heads prevail. She can be that ear for me whenever I might be making a bad decision, and she can give me an analysis or a question about something, and we can both give each other advice. But most of all, what I do like about my wife personally is she never, ever really says no. So when I told her I was starting a store in 2008, 2009, okay, babe, that's a good idea. Cool. All right, cool. I want to start the YouTube channel, the Vimeo channel, Meet the Breedloves. What it's going to be about? Okay. I want to start a farm. What we're going to plant? We're going to plant some blueberries and this. Yep, we're going to plant it. And she got a shovel and she helped dig some holes and we started a farm. So having that one person that you know has your back definitely makes a difference. Money's not going out of the house. And certainly having that assurance and trust can make a really, really big difference in your business. But the number one thing I think that I believe, the number one value we all have is actually not money, it's time. Right. So building money will allow you to have more time because most of the time, what do? We work for money. So having 2 checks makes a huge difference, and 2 people working together can certainly get you further down the road.
Well, you kind of answered a lot of my questions, and that was the like, he's like, let me just tie this right up here. You had to do nothing. Thank you.
Thanks.
One of my questions were going to be, what are the benefits? Because I know you saw last night I had posted the question, can a married couple have a successful business together? Mm-hmm. If yes, what's the main ingredient? And you said it repeatedly. And if no, why? Because there are schools of thought that think that you need, like church and state, you should separate your home and your business. But like you said, I believe that if your partner is truly an asset, even as a sounding board, that can be a wonderful business partner. And we all bring different things to the table. But some of the things that people said were the main ingredient were trust, communication, being compatible. Then we have, hold on, they say honesty.
All those are important. I would also add being fine. You want somebody that looks good too. Easy
on the eyes, right? Easy on the eyes. It makes everything easier. So
I can, not to cut you off, I'm thinking of a situation. I had a photo shoot going on for a magazine once. And the model was kind of acting kind of snooty, kind of like, I don't like this. I don't want to wear these clothes. And I kind of thought about it. I said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. She was all high and mighty. I called Marquitta. I said, Marquitta, back, I need you to do some modeling for me. And she shows up to the store. She gets dressed. Comes straight from the hospital. Gets dressed. She gets her hair done, gets everything done. She models the clothes. Photo shoot goes on, and she moves on. So that's taking care of business too. But he helped me out. I didn't have to pay the model. I kept the money in the house, and we kept moving.
Right? She was like, "There's no other women going to give my husband a hard time." That's
I was like, girl, you ain't really that fine now. I got a wife at home that look better than you anyway, so I don't care. It's all good.
you know,
Yeah.
it's interesting, Mark, how even though these businesses are like so different, farming, a YouTube channel, and your farming's not necessarily on your YouTube channel, they all go together because they're all based on family. Now, I follow you. So for those viewers out there that are about to follow Mark, and at the end of this, he will drop all the links to where you can find him and his jokes because he's funny. I see that, like you said, I saw, okay, you just told the story about your wife coming through as the model, but I see your kids like to model the stuff too.
Yes. Yeah. I have 3 daughters and 2 sons.
Right. So you have like all your labor force basically worked right into the plan. You did it like the old-fashioned way. Now, because here at Business Takeout, we always are asking those who are successful, those who have done it, like you, to guide us that are doing it too and wondering how to do it better, or those who are right on the edge looking and thinking, I could do this too. And as a family man who runs a business, a family, and like I said, one of the things I appreciate so much is it's done in such a loving way. Yeah, you got to feed them, so you definitely need money, but they are at the core of what you do. That balance, Mark, can you give some advice? Can you, for any couple out there, that are looking at each other all lovey-dovey, before they get out the real gate, before things don't look so great, can you give some advice? Can you tell them, some things to look out for, some things they could do, maybe a tip or two that you wish you knew 18 years ago?
Oh gosh. Okay, so first off, people have to understand that sometimes it's going to take time, and it's going to take more time than what you can believe. The first items that I sold for my store, I actually bought at TJ Maxx. I just bought them and flipped them and see how it worked.
Okay.
I think I had like $40, maybe $200, and just flipped it. My first investment was Bank of America, about $200. I didn't have a lot of money, so my first piece of advice is it's going to take some time to get to where you're going. Don't look at. You can look up to people. You can look around people, but don't look down on people. But understand, everybody, you can come from humble beginnings and get to somewhere you want to go, but you have to put time on it. Number 2, if you can avoid debt at all costs, please avoid debt. Do not get a loan. I hate credit. I don't care about any credit bureau. I would have never had a 0 credit score. That's just me personally, because I believe in cash, because my old school grandfather and daddy that don't get loans, and I don't believe in getting loans. But if you have to get a loan, take on as little as possible and take your time. I drove the same car, a Yukon XL 2003 model. I drove that car to 2018, 2019. Yeah. So I didn't have a car note for over 11 years. So I had $650 extra in liability insurance on a car that ran well for several years, where other people may have had new cars, because I'm not competing. So I like to keep the cash. So number 1, take your time. Number 2, stay out of debt. And I'd say number 3, find somebody you can trust to take advice from, because everybody does not have your best interests at heart, or they just simply don't know. I mean, we go on YouTube, we go on Facebook, everybody's an expert, but many people really don't know what it takes. So you need to find somebody close to you that loves you, that can give you sometimes some critical advice. May not sound good, you may not be happy with it, but you need someone really close as an advisor to get information from, because I don't seek information from everybody. May sound good, but it just may not be for me. So those 3 elements right there can really help you be successful in anything that you're doing, not only your business, but your family, or whatever you're trying to do in life.
Okay, so we will recap those three big tips. I have a question, and there was a statement made on this chat that finances are the number one reasons couples break up. Hi, Sharon. Yes, and she really agrees with the number three, find someone you could trust to take advice from. That is the number one reason that couples split, right? Is finances.
Finances. Yes, yes. Me and my wife's situation or our story is a little bit different as far as our finances, which we do discuss this on an episode of Meet the Breedloves. My wife, when she was in college, I paid all the bills. So what happened was, she said she worked, but she made like $8 an hour at the bookstore or something. But my whole point is, I paid for everything, and the reason why is because she was going to school. So when she started working, she trusts me to take care of the money. And so all our checks have always went into one place. I've never hid anything from her. She's never hid anything from me. And if there's something we don't need to get, we don't get it. For several years, we rented a house simply because we didn't know where we were going to stay as far as the city. So we took our time. Whereas everyone else, during the 2008 meltdown, remember? Buy a house, buy a house. Oh, you make good money, buy a house. Nah. I don't want to have to pay for all the maintenance and bills. So we rented for several years. We just bought a house finally 5 years ago when we decided where we were going to be settled. So money is definitely important, and you're going to need some of it. But where you can cut, you need to sacrifice and sacrifice together. The wife shouldn't get Louis Vuitton purses, and the man shouldn't get Remington shotguns if it's unnecessary. If you can take that money and invest it or save it until you get to a certain point, it can make a huge difference down the line. Because if you have no discipline, the finances will break up a marriage very, very fast. And most women coming into a marriage, or men even, the mentality is, this is mine. I've been doing this before I met you, which is true. They may have been doing it before you met, but now that you're together, you're going to have to find a way to work together because all that money belongs to both of you. There is no I got and you don't have. Both of you guys should have if one has. So that's just how you got to look at it when you get married. If not, don't even get married because it ain't going to work.
And please, Frankie, I know you're there listening. You need to make that a soundbite. Make sure that is a soundbite that we get out there. I have a question on the cash.
Sure.
My daughter asked it because I was telling her about you, today, and I told her about your belief of, buy everything in cash. Like if you could show up with, the 300,000, even if it's in ones, just pay it. And your disdain of the credit bureau. And if you go on his page, he's forever making jokes. I don't even know if he's joking anymore. He just doesn't care. Doesn't subscribe to it. And, she was wondering, she's like, well, credit's such a great thing. And shouldn't you have credit? And credit, is what makes the difference. And that's how you could go buy a house. I said, but if you have the cash, you could still buy the house, even without the credit, right? But her question is, in such a credit-driven world and where we are now teaching the next generation, credit is king. And once you have good credit, you can do anything. What is the answer to that? Why are you so not subscribing to it? What's going on?
Well, to make a long story short, I come from very humble beginnings. I wasn't poor to where I couldn't eat. I had a loving family, have a great family, mom, dad, cousins, uncles, grandparents. I always had a great family, but we were never rich. And so when I first got my first $1,000 in the military, I thought I was rich. I got $1,000. Wow. 19, 20 years old, never had that kind of money before. Saved $1,000. And once I saved $1,000, I eventually saved $2,000. Man, $2,000 rich. And eventually it became $10,000. And at a certain point, by the time I graduated college, with my refund checks, with my GI bills, with my checks, with my job at Walmart, I'd amassed over $38,000 as a college student.
Wow.
And I was 21 years old maybe. And I had a car. I had everything I needed. Cell phones weren't as advanced as they were today. but I had everything I needed, and I had amassed over $38,000 just taking my time and putting money up. So I made a vow to myself that, hey, okay, I saved $38,000. I'm never going to get rid of the principal. I'm going to keep working and keep learning and keep adding to this. And so that was 20 years ago, and now I'm 40, and I still do that today. I still keep cash and invest cash and put money up to where it can make more money. So the whole idea of this is if you can learn about dividends, interest, just like the bank or just like a credit card, they're basically just advancing you money to make money on it. So if you can be your own bank and make your own interest on your money, you'll always have your money.
Right.
Even if it's a house. Now, I do have a home loan. I didn't pay cash for my house. However, I have the ability to pay my house off early, way early, because at some point, if you do own a house or something big like that, yes, you may not need to pay cash for that. But something like a car that's taking money out of your pocket, it's just not necessary unless you just got to have the Tesla or the G-Wagon that's $200,000 or maybe $150,000. Get something sensible that you can drive and pay off fast instead of paying interest, because at the end of the day, nobody cares what you're driving. It doesn't really matter. In the beginning, it may matter to you, but eventually you'll just want something else next year. That's just how it goes. And we all know cars and items depreciate, clothes and things like that. And I sell clothes, and I still tell people it's junk. But we all have to have clothes. We all have to have clothes. We all have to have things. However, if you can keep some cash, you're going to be better off in the long run, because those times are going to happen where you blow a tire, or like even today, my air conditioner went out. I have no idea why. It's the thermostat. I can fix stuff too. The thermostat, I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's the breaker. I tried the breaker. That didn't work. So now I have to pay someone to come fix my air conditioner. It's 3 in my house, but Marquitta's she ain't gonna stay in this house without her air conditioner and these other rooms up front. She'll go get a hotel room until it's fixed. I know how she does.
I know how she does.
So those emergencies come, you're gonna have to have something. And especially if you have a family and kids, you definitely want to have something in the back so you can take care of things and you don't have to go into debt to deal with simple, normal situations.
I like that. Simple, normal situations, because things happen. Now, before we go, Mark, you've spoke. Thank you for sharing what you have about marriage and business, and it's interesting because when we look at the end result, we see you on Meet the Breedloves and this big farm and these 5, lovely children, and just made it. And he drove the same car for like 11 years, he said, or some madness like that.
Well, yeah, it was
for a long time. So that taking time, this is what you get to see at the end result. But before we go, you are a man of much heart. And as I said, I know one of the things that you do speak about is, building a family, the preservation of our community and love and the growth of it as well. But something that I saw you doing early out at the beginning of this pandemic that we face, masks. You were, I just saw that you were overwhelmed and inundated, and what was happening with the masks with you and your store at the beginning of the pandemic?
Oh, great question. Well, basically, there was a shortage, and to make a long story short, that all began because my wife needed masks, and she works at a hospital. And as you know, there was a shortage nationwide. And, I reached out to some places, and I just said to myself, okay, let me see if I can get some masks for my wife. And I was able to order some through a reputable dealer, and I got some masks. And I said, well, hey, if I can order this many, why don't I just order more and try to help other people get them also? So once I made her an order, other people, oh, where'd you get masks? Next person asked. Boom, made a post on Facebook. Oh, you can get masks? Yeah, okay. Well, I need them too. And particularly for the nurses and doctors and the medical professionals here in America that needed them at the time. That was the whole gist of them. And the price was jacked up by the wholesalers. They jacked the price up. So unfortunately, we couldn't get them what they would normally be at as far as price. So I said, well, if as long as I'm not gonna lose a whole bunch of money. Why not get masks and help get them out to people who need them until everything came together here, and eventually it did, and I was able to get them and help some people. There is no money in masks. The dealers had jacked up the prices on them, so wholesale wise, I was able to just get them and give them away and get them out of here to help people have masks at the time during the pandemic. Any way I could help at the time, that's what it was all about.
Well, that is what it is about. This is the soul of business. And if you've been watching, if you've been following, what you're going to find is the common thread in all of these successful entrepreneurs is giving back. They're always talking about, your integrity and your personality and, what you do for the community. And as we sit here with our pens trying to figure out how to make that money and make it work, they keep saying weird things like give it away. And pay it forward. So I hope you are out there and you're paying attention, because the leaders have come to teach and they are speaking and they're paying it forward with knowledge. So Mark, before we go, tell them where to find you. How do we find Mr. Breedlove and family? Where can we reach you?
You can reach us on the best platform is Vimeo TV, which is meetthebreedloves.vhx.tv. meetthebreedloves.vhx.tv. You can also find me on Facebook at Meet the Breedloves, or follow my personal page at Mark Breedlove, and I'll link you to where you need to go. I also have an Instagram page, Meet the Breedloves. It's on Instagram, and that's MEET, the Breedloves. And I can't wait to get to Canada. My son wants to come to Toronto, so that'll be fun next year.
I have been I've been like I'm like, come to Canada, I will take you around. I will show you things. And also too, I know Montreal, so then we could kind of take them over to the other side and get a little Europe feel, but that will be on, trust me, I will be following them around. I'm going to be all up in Meet the Breedloves Canadian version. So I really look so forward to that. And I hope that happens in 2021. I really do hope that happens this summer. It will be so amazing to welcome you all. I'm clearly see I'm excited. So and bring Demikos, bring him with you.
I'll bring him. Whoever else will come, let's have a Meet the Breedloves Canadian extravaganza, and we'll go up and have some fun when it's warm. And I've been to Toronto, but and I love Toronto, but I want to come and just hang out. I was younger then, but now me and my family can come.
I am so looking forward to that, Mark. Mikaylah, I cannot wait to meet you all. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all that you share. And thank you for taking this time to be with us this evening. Tell your questions. If you have any questions or anything in the comments, we will get to them. We will make sure we answer you. Thank you all for watching. Join us. Mark, again, thank you. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you all in person. So this is Erica Edwards signing out for Business Takeout. This is the soul of business, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good night.
Thanks.